Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So then with pranams to all devotees, thank you all for joining in for our study of the path of perfection. So we will do the path of perfection until 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock we will make our start of the most important scripture that is given as a preliminary study to the science of Krishna consciousness, which is the Bhagavad Gita as it is, by divine grace. Abhay Sharanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we'll start with prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha Panchatattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत् गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तराले कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे Hare Krishna. So Dandot pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in. We will now start with, or rather, we will continue with this book, The Path of Perfection, that we started on Vaikuntha Ekadashi actually. So we are almost on the last chapter of this book, which is chapter number 10, which is entitled The Path of Perfection. So in this chapter, Prabhupada is explaining what is the path of perfection, is the path by which we can go back home, back to Godhead. Mam upetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. Right? So one who comes back to me, to the eternal world of Goloka Vrindavan Dham, will not have to go back to this material world, which is full of miseries, which is labeled by the Lord himself as Dukhalayam and Ashashvatam. Why? Because they have attained the highest perfection. What is that? Samsiddhim Paramam Gataha. That means they've attained the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They've attained the Supreme Dham. And then we were also reading how Srila Prabhupada is talking about Brahma Bhuvan Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Right? Even if one cultivates the necessary siddhis or the pious credits to even become Brahma, even then one has to come back to this material world at the end of utilizing one's pious credits. Right? Whether one can go to Indra Loka, one can go to Chandra Loka, one can go to even highest planet of this material world, which is Brahma Loka. But then Punaravartino Arjuna. So once one utilizes one's pious credits, then Kshine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. So once all these pious credits are exhausted, then this person has to come back to this material world. Right? So in that way, we've been reading how the path of perfection is the path that leads back home, back to Godhead. Everything else is temporary, including the destination of Brahmaloka. Okay, so now we can ask the devotees to read. The devotees who want to read may raise your hand. So we completed till here, right? So it is illogical to conclude that there are no living entities in the other planets, right? Even Brahma Loka, Indra Loka, Surya Loka, Chandra Loka, all are comprised of living entities, and their bodies are made which are suitable to be staying in these planets, whether it is the sun planet, or whether it is the earthly planet, or whether it is a moon planet. All of them have living entities. So whichever planet one wants to go, one need only to worship that particular demigod and go there. Yanti deva vrata devan pitran yanti pitravrtaha bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti mad yajino bhimam. So Krishna has told that if you worship the demigods, you will go to the demigods planets. If you worship the pitras, then you go to the pitraloka. If you worship me, you will come back to my planet, right? So that's what Krishna has said. So in any case, Krishna says from the highest luminous planet is a repetition of birth and death, right? Brahma Bhuvan Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna. Leelanandini Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, ma'am.
In any case, Krishna says that the highest planet to the lowest planets, there is repetition of birth and death. Yet again, as in the former verse, he says, Mam Upetya. If you reach my planet, you don't have to return to this miserable material world. To stress this point, Sri Krishna repeats that upon reaching Goloka Vrindavana, his eternal abode, one is liberated from the cycle of birth and death and attains eternal life. It is the duty of human life to understand these problems and attain a blissful eternal life that is full of knowledge. Unfortunately, people in this age have forgotten the aim of life. Why? Durashaya e bahir arthamanina. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.31. People say people have been trapped by the material glitter, by skyscrapers, big factories, and political activities. People do not stop to consider that however big the skyscraper may be, they will not be allowed to live there indefinitely. We should not spoil our energy. Therefore, in building great cities, but should employ our energy to elevate ourselves to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not a religious formula or some spiritual recreation, but is the most important factor in our lives. People are interested in attaining higher planets because their once enjoyment is 1,000 times greater than and the duration of much longer. Sahasra Yuga.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji.
Hi, Bol. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, Prabhupada is talking about the level of enjoyment in various planets. Of course, there is higher level of enjoyment as we go up. Then we go to Janaloka, Tapaloka, then finally we go to Brahmaloka, right? Even in the heavenly planets, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, right? Even in the heavenly planets, there is a lot of enjoyment, right? We've heard of the Soma Rasa, Indra is enjoying with the avatars. So all of these enjoyment is there, and it is said that the enjoyment is 1,000 times greater, or much greater than what we enjoy in this material world. Why? Because material world is a place of reformation, and it's a place where we are punished for our misdoings. But earthly planet is the best place. Why? Because from here only we can directly go back home, back to Godhead. We will not be able to go back directly from the heavenly planet to the spiritual world, right? Some may, but most of us won't. Why? Because there is so much dosage of enjoyment. One is actually under the illusion of enjoyment, more and more enjoyment. But it is said that the earthly planet has got the right balance of happiness and misery, right? Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada, right? Because there is equal dose of happiness and distress, one is able to contemplate. Why am I suffering in this material world? How can I go beyond this material world, which is full of distress and misery? So in this way, we get opportunities to contemplate and to want to go back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. So yeah, someone else can read. सहस्रायुग पर्यन्तम् अहर्यद् ब्रह्मणो विदु रात्रिं युग सहस्रान्तां ते अहोरात्र विदो जनाः. Karpavali Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. The duration of the material universe is limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or ages: Satya, Treta, Dwarapa, and Kali. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and diligence, there being practically no ignorance and vice, and the yuga lasts 17,28,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts 12,96,000 years. In the Dwarapa Yuga, there is an even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing in this yuga, and this yuga lasts 56,000, 4,000 years.
No.
And finally,
5,64,000.
Sorry, 5,64,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga,
We have now been experiencing.
Finally, in Kali Yuga, the Yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice. True virtue
being practically
non-existent, and this yuga lasts for 4,32,000 years. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as the Kalki Avadara, vanquishes the demons and saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. Then the process is not set rolling again. These 4 yugas rotating 1,000 times comprise one day of Brahma and the Creator God, and the same number of comprises the one night. Brahma lives 100 such years and then dies. These 100 years by earth calculations totally 311 trillion and 40 million earth years. By these calculations, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable, but from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as lightning flash. In the Kaushal ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux. In the material universe, not even Brahma is. Oh, thank you, Mother. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So here the entire process of creation is explained, and what is the how we know that as the planets, we go up the planets, we know that the duration is also higher, the level of enjoyment is also higher, and as the yugas also change, right? Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga. Only in one day of Brahma, this actually all the 4 cycles put together for constitute one kalpa. Here there is an entire description of Brahma's lifetime. How Brahma's entire lifetime of 100 years is equal to 411 billion, 30 million, or 311 trillion and 40 million earth years. So, it seems like Brahma lives eternally, right? But here Prabhupada mentions how Brahma's lifetime is also like a flash of lightning, right? When we see the lightning, before we could see only, immediately the lightning appears and it disappears. So like that, the Brahma's life also goes off within the time of a lightning. But for us, sitting in the earthly planet, it seems that Brahma is living for 311 trillion and 40 million earth years. But Brahma Bona Loka Punaravartino Arjuna, right? Even if one enjoys the position of Brahma, ultimately he has to die. Even Brahma has to die, right? And then here Prabhupada also talks about how Krishna expands himself into the 3 Purusha avatars: Karandakashaya Vishnu, Garbhakashaya Vishnu, Kshiradakashaya Vishnu. And then this Karanalakashaya Vishnu, he actually from his from his body pores, millions of universes come out, and then he enters into each of the universes, Garbhada Krishna Vishnu, and he's lying down in the Garbha ocean. And from the navel of each of the Garbhada Krishna Vishnu springs a lotus, and from that lotus Brahma is born. And that Brahma, we know how he does the tapasya to understand what is the will of the Lord, and then he understands how to do subcreation, and then the Lord expands as Paramatma in every living entity. So in this way, the Lord Sri Krishna, he does not do any work. He's not responsible for anything, because he's happily enjoying himself in Goloka Vrindavan Dham. But by his will, by the will of Lord Sri Krishna, various energies of the Lord, they manifest, and by the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord, the Tatastha Shakti of the Lord, the external Shakti of the Lord, Bahiranga Shakti of the Lord, the entire material universe is manifested, the Jivas or the living entities are manifested, Prakriti or the material nature is manifested. So we will talk about those 5 subject matters, which have their all origins on Lord Shri Krishna. So that will be the subject matter of what we are going to discuss today in the Bhagavad Gita session. Right, the 5 topics. So when we see this the Supreme Lord Bhagavan, then the Jiva, then Prakriti, then with various activities performed by the Jiva, which is Karma and Kala. These 5 things have their origin in the Lord Shri Krishna, like that. Okay, so let's continue reading. In the material world, who will read? Maushmi Mataji, go ahead. In the material universe.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavats.
In the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord in the management of this universe. Therefore, he at once attained liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahma Loka, which is the highest planet in the material universe, and which survives all the heavenly planet in the upper
Strata.
Strata of the planetary system. But in due course, Brahma and all inhabitants of Brahmaloka are subject to death according to the laws of material nature. So even if we live million and trillion of years, we have to die. Death cannot be avoided. Throughout the entire universe, the process of creation and annihilation is taking place, as described in the text verse. Next verse.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna explains this. At a living entity level to this entire Prakriti level, right? Jatasya jivo mrityur dhruvam janma mrityasya. Tasmad apariharyati natvam shochitum arhasi. Right? Any living entity who's born, right? The day we are born, our expiry date or our date of death is already determined. It is only that it is not available like you have in the various grocery packets, right? Rice, dal, expiry date, manufacturing date, so and so, expiry date, so and so. Like that, even we have our expiry dates, which is our material body. It has an expiry date, but it is but we don't know, right? Parikshit Maharaj knew I was going to live only for 7 days, but we all don't have that expiry date known to us. But the expiry date of our body is already determined, like that. Avyaktavyakteya sarvaah prabhavantya ragame ratriagame praliyante tatreva vyakta samyake. Nagavini Mataji, go ahead. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. Okay.
Mataji, sorry, I was not able to unmute. Very good.
Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Pronounce
When Brahma's
Mataji.
day is manifest.
When Brahma's day is manifest, this multitude of living entities comes into being, and at the arrival of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. Bhagavad Gita 8.18. Unless we go to the spiritual side, there is no escaping this process of birth and death, creation and annihilation. When Brahma's days are finished, all these planetary systems are covered by water, and when Brahma rises again, creation takes place. The word ahar means in the daytime, which is 12 hours of Brahma's life. During this time, this material manifestation, all these planets are seen, but when night comes, they are all merged in water. That is, they are annihilated. The word Ratri Agame. Ratri Agame means at the fall of night. During this time, all these planets are invisible because they are inundated with water. This flux is the nature of the material world. Bhuta gramaha sa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratri agame vasha partha prabhavati aharagame. Again and again the day comes and this host of beings is active. And again the night falls, O Partha, and they are helplessly dissolved. Bhagavad Gita 8.19. Although we do not want devastation, devastation is inevitable. At night, everything is flooded, and when the day appears, gradually the waters disappear. For instance, on this one planet, the surface is 3/4 covered with water. Gradually, land is emerging, and the day will come when there will be no longer be water, but simply land. That is the nature's process.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue this tomorrow. So here, what are we seeing? Everything that is created, devastation or an end for that is inevitable. That is why the day starts and then the nightfall comes, where the day ends. Similarly, Prabhupada is also referring here how the spiritual world comprises of the 3/4 of the entire creation, where there is no creation and destruction, because the spiritual world is eternal, whereas the 1/4 of the portion that we are minuscule part of, right, of this material world, like Prabhupada explains in San Francisco, he was actually explaining. So we are sitting in San Francisco, which is just one point in America, which is just a small dot in the entire world, which is just a small dot in Brahmande Brahmite Kona. Right, there are many millions of material worlds. Ours is just one universe, and in that universe, America is just one country, and even within America, there are so many countries. San Francisco is just one spot, and within San Francisco, the particular location or the street, this is a street, and this is so many buildings are there. We are such an insignificant soul sitting in one corner of a small building, which is situated in one corner of the entire material world, and we think we are the controllers. So this is the illusion of Maya that we are put into. And the faster that we come out of this illusion, that I know everything and I am supposed to be the controller of all I pervade, all I survey, then we are under the illusion of Maya. But when we understand Jivera Swarupohe, Krishnera Nityadas, I am the eternal servant of that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who by his energies manifests the entire material world, by whose power, right? Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat abhyakta murtina. Right? Maya tatam idam sarvam. Everything rests upon me, just like pearls are strung on a thread. Right? Shutra gana maniva. When we understand this, then automatically we are established in our constitutional position. That is the being servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Gantra, the path of perfection ki jai. So now we will go on to our Bhagavad Gita as it is. So today we will start with the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So let me share. These are the Mangalacharan verses, which we anyway read in the beginning of the session. But today we'll read again as a formal introduction and the start of our Bhagavad Gita. So I hope everyone is able to see the introduction of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. I was born in the darkest of ignorance. Right? Om Ajnana Timirandasya. Ajnana means born in darkest ignorance. And my spiritual master opened my eyes. Right? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya. Right? How does the spiritual master open our eyes? By giving us this, by anointing our eyes with knowledge, the torch of knowledge. Right? Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. To that Guru who's opening my eyes and awakening me to the path of knowledge, the path of transcendence, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami, who is established within this material world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam. Mano Abhishtam means whatever we think, right? We all act because we want to satisfy some or the other desire of ourselves, right? But Rupa Goswami, what did he do? He manifested in this material world the desire of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam. And what did he do? Stapitam Yena Bhutale. Right? He established it in this material world. Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam. Unto that Srila Rupa Goswami Dadati Swa Kadantikam. I pay my respectful obeisances to that Srila Rupa Goswami. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam. Right? So I pay my respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of my spiritual master and onto the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunatha Dasa Goswami and Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami. These are the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tamsa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Right? After offering obeisances to all the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, who are the disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Now I am offering my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Sri Radha Krishna Padan and unto the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. I am offering my respectful obeisances unto Srimati Radharani, to Lord Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Lalita and Vishaka. Like Narottama Das Thakur sings, right? Lalita Vishaka Adi Jatashaki Vrinda Ajnaya Koribo Seva Charanaravinda Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugal Kishore Jivane Marane Gati Aru Nahi More. So Narottama Das Thakur is singing Lalita Vishaka Adi Jata Shaki Vrinda. Right? I want to serve the divine couple Shri Radha and Krishna, but not directly. After taking the permission of the associates of the Lord, Lalita Devi, Vishaka Devi, by taking their permission, Seva Adhikaro, Seva Abhilasha Kore Narottama Das. That is my desire, to serve their lordships eternally, but after taking the permission of all of the Shakis, all of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shri Radha and Krishna. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed. Dina Bandho Jagatpate. Bandhu means friend. Dina means the most fallen. So you are the friend of the most fallen. And Jagatpate, you are the master of all the universes. Gopesha Gopika Kanta. Gopa Isha. That means you are the controller of the gopis. Isha Avasim Idam Sarvam. Right? Isha means one who controls. Right? One who is in a superior position. So the controller of the gopis is Gopesha, who is the Gopika Kanta. He is the master of all the gopis. Radha Kanta, he is the master of Radharani. Right? Because in the spiritual world, there is no control by force. Right? Krishna does not even interfere with our living entities' free will. So he is the lover of Radharani. Right? When one loves another person so much, one is automatically becoming or agreeing to be controlled by the will of the other person. So in this way, Radha Kanta Namostute. Srimati Radharani has accepted the control of Lord Sri Krishna, and Lord Sri Krishna is agreeing to be controlled with the will of Srimati Radharani. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Gaurangi means golden complexion. right? Who has this golden complexion? Srimati Radharani. She is Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. She is a queen of Vrindavan Dham. And who is she? Vrishabhanu Sute Devi. She is the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. Pranamami Haripriye, who is very, very dear to Lord Sri Krishna. And then, as part of the Mangalacharan prayers, we offer respectful obeisances unto every Vaishnava devotee. Why? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha. Right? They are manifestations of mercy. They are desire trees. Kalpataru means they are desire trees. Right? Chintamani prakara satmuch kalpa viksha. Right? In the spiritual world, it is filled with desire trees. Whatever is our desire, it will all get manifest in the spiritual world. Similarly, all of our desires to attain Krishna Prema, they can be fulfilled by the desire trees who are Vaishnavas. They are just like desire trees, Kalpataru, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Right? Again, we saw Patita. Patita means extremely fallen. And who is Pavanebhyo? The one who delivers all these fallen souls. Who are they? Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Who are the Vaishnavas? Are desire trees who can fulfill the desires of everyone. And just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. And then finally, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhara, Shri Vasa, and all others in the line of devotion. So everywhere we see the Lord expands his Chaturshrat as in his Chatur Vyuha forms, right? You have Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. Then you have Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva. But in Kali Yuga, the Lord has expanded in his 5 features. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. Advaita Acharya, he is the combination of Sada Shiva. That means it is said to be a combination of Vishnu and Shiva. Srivasa, Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani herself. Right? So it is said that when Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the complexion of Srimati Radharani, the mood of Srimati Radharani, whatever else was left of Srimati Radharani, she appeared as Gadadhar. And Srivasa refers to Narada Muni, who gives this Bhakti Shakti to everyone. So Narada Muni actually is a distributor of Bhakti. We know Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, even Mrigari the hunter, whatever level, whether one is in tamasic mode, rajasic mode, or sattvic mode, one is helped by Narada Muni to perfect the process of Bhakti. So we offer obeisances to Srivas Thakur and all others in the line of devotion. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a prayer begging for service. So why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? Why are we chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? All of this we are doing for one reason. What is the reason? We want to be eternally engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the service of the servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? That is why we started off by saying we want to serve the Lord, but after taking permission of the Sakhis of the Lord, after taking permission of the associates of the Lord. We don't want to directly jump into serving the Lord directly, right? That's Maharaj Kulashekara, he prays, Gopi Bartu Padakamalayur, Dasa, 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 Dasanu Dasa. 7 times he's saying, I want to become the servant of 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 Shri Radha and Krishna. So that is our desire. That is why when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the morning, or when we chant this invocation verses, when we chant all of these prayers as part of invocation, we went through the meanings of all these verses so that we meditate on all of this every day as we continue each of the sessions by starting with the Mangalacharan prayers. We meditate on the meaning, offering of obeisances to various associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to Shri Radha and Krishna, to all of their associates, and finally to the Panchatattva, and finally to praying for the mood of being absorbed in the service to Shri Radha and Krishna, whether it be by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whether it be by studying Bhagavad Gita, whether it be by studying Bhagavatam, whether it is by way of performing Archa Vigraha Seva, or whether it is preaching the glories of the Lord, going for book distribution. All of these activities, right from Shravanam to Atma Nivedanam, are being performed simply to please Guru and Gauranga. Though there is no other desire apart from pleasing Guru and Gauranga that we engage in all of these services. So on that note, let us begin our Gita Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is also called, is one of the most important Upanishads in the Vedic literature. We know that, we know the background of how this Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Sri Krishna to Arjuna. Right? Generally, people say we don't have time. Right? We don't have time to hear the Bhagavad Gita. Our life is so complex. From the morning when we wake up, you already have a checklist of things, right? I have to go to office, I have to do these things, like that. Even on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday also, we have so many things to do. So the acharyas explain that Krishna and Arjuna are friends, right? Arjuna tells Krishna, right? I used to address you as Madhava. We used to sleep on the same couch. We used to sit down and talk to each other. But I didn't realize you're the Supreme Lord. Krishna could have given this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in the, in Hastinapur. Or Krishna could have chosen to give this knowledge to Arjuna inside the closed room. Why did he choose to give this knowledge to Arjuna in the battlefield just before a war is going to take place? This war is going to determine whether Arjuna is going to die or, Arjuna, Yudhishthira Maharaj, the Pandavas are going to become the king. It's a life and death situation. In that situation also, Arjuna took out time to understand. Otherwise, we are busy running, but we don't know where we are running. We don't know the goal. Where do we want to go? Right? We are all very fast runners. But to set our goal right, to set the direction in which we want to run right, that is where we need to take the guidance of Bhagavad Gita. Right? And we study Bhagavad Gita in a bona fide disciplic succession. We are studying the book of Srila Prabhupada, who's coming under the lineage of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. Right? We have this Guru Parampara where Srila Prabhupada is a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is a disciple, because this line is of Siksha disciple succession. Right? So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, and he is also a Siksha Guru. And his Diksha Guru is Gaura Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. So we have both these systems given importance in ISKCON. One is the Diksha Guru Parampara, the other is the Siksha Guru. Right? We have to respect. There should be no difference between Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru. Why? Because the Diksha Guru as well as the Siksha Guru, they are opening our eyes and giving us this transcendental knowledge by which we can go back home, back to Godhead. So we have to ensure that the speaker and the listeners have this mood of coming in this bona fide disciplic succession, so that we can speak according to what we've heard in a bona fide disciplic succession. So there is no addition, subtraction, multiplication, division according to the speaker's mental concoctions or speculations. No, we are just repeating the words as given by Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, we want to do the service of speaking the Bhagavad Gita that was actually spoken by Lord Sri Krishna himself, the verses and the translation and purports by His Divine Grace, Abhicharanaravindha Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, we want to please Guru and Gauranga, and by their mercy, we want to try to understand what is this Bhagavad Gita all about? Why was it spoken in the battlefield? Why is it such an important transcendental subject that we need to understand? All right. So with this introduction, let us move forward to reading the introduction as given by Srila Prabhupada after the invocation verses. So we will request devotees to raise your hands and we can start reading the Bhagavad Gita. So I can see Nagavani Mataji's hand up. Mataji, would you like to read? Okay, Leela Nandini Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity for another one. This present edition can be explained in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English, but as far as I have seen, not only in America but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative, because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this. If we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to follow the directions written on the label. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or the direction of a friend. It must be taken according to the directions on the label or the directions given by a physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself. The speaker of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Sri Krishna. He is mentioned on every page of Bhagavad Gita as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Of course, the word Bhagavan sometimes refers to any powerful person or any powerful demigod, and certainly here Bhagavan designates Lord Sri Krishna as a great personality. But at the same time, we should know that Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as is confirmed by all great acharyas, that is spiritual masters, like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, and all Madhavacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other authorities of Vedic knowledge in India. The Lord himself also establishes himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita, and he is accepted as such in the Brahma Samhita and all the Puranas, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Bhagavata Purana, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, we should take Bhagavad Gita as it is directed by the personality of Godhead himself. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 4.1 to 3, the Lord says, Imam Vivasade Yogam
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Proktavanaham
Mataji.
Agayam. Okay, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you,
so
Hare.
here, Prabhupada is talking about how the Bhagavad Gita is the manual for life, right? So how we, if we have a disease, we go to a doctor. The doctor gives us two things. One, he gives us a diet, and he also gives us a medicine. So what is the diet? The diet is what we can eat, what we should not eat, when we should eat, how much we should eat, and also the prescription, which talks of what is the medicine, right? What is that medicine that we need to take, and what frequency we have to take that medicine, right? How many doses, right? Is it 5 ml, or is it should be taken in the morning, it should be taken before food, after food? We need to pay attention to the details. Otherwise, if we've got the right medicine also, but we take according to however we want, right? We are supposed to take 5 ml 3 times a day, but we take 1 ml and we take only once in the morning. So will we get cured of the disease? No, we will not get cured of the disease. And then we will blame the doctor. We blame the doctor that I've taken the medicine given by the doctor, but unfortunately I'm not getting cured. Why? Because I have not taken the medicine the way it is supposed to have been taken. I am taking according to how I like it, and therefore my disease is not getting cured. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita actually directs a person what to do, what not to do, how to do, why to do, what should be the consciousness of a person, who should do, what should be the objective. Why are we supposed to follow this book? That is why it is said to be a handbook. Just like when we purchase a washing machine, right? We get a handbook along with the washing machine, right? How are we supposed to use that washing machine? If you put all vessels inside the washing machine, will it wash? No. Right? Why? Because it is designed to wash clothes, right? So in this way, this Bhagavad Gita is a handbook for human beings, right? How to live their life in a way that we can get washed up of all of our sinful tendencies, and in this way we become eligible, or we can never become eligible, but at least we become eligible to be recipients of the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, and by their mercy, the way we conduct ourselves, right? The way we conduct our lives, if it is according to the principles of Bhagavad Gita, according to what has been taught to us by Srila Prabhupada, by the entire Guru Parampara, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Parampara, by their mercy, by our sincerity and enthusiasm, we study these scriptures, we perform devotional service, and by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we will be able to understand the transcendental truths, and by their mercy, again, we will be able to apply it in our life. When we are applying these transcendental truths of Bhagavad Gita, which is we are following the prescription to the T, then what happens? Then we can see that we are getting cured of the material disease. Like in Nectar of Devotion, there is this beautiful analogy that is given of sugarcane juice. The sugarcane juice is the remedy for jaundice, right? But a person who's afflicted with jaundice cannot taste the sugarcane juice. He thinks, it is so, it's so tasteless. Why do I have to take this every day? Because he's afflicted with jaundice, his tongue cannot taste the sweetness of the sugarcane juice. However, if he continues to take the sugarcane juice day in and day out, then he will be cured of jaundice, and in this way he'll be able to taste the nectar of the sugarcane juice, which is already delicious. Because the tongue is subject to the disease, we are not able to relish the sugarcane juice. Similarly, we are all in the diseased state of material existence today. The disease of sense gratification, the disease to exploit material nature. We are not supposed to do that. We are supposed to be servants, but we are trying to become controllers of the material nature. We want to become controllers of this material nature. What is in it for me? How can I enjoy? How can I? Yehi samsparsha jab hoga, dukkha yone evate. That's why we are frustrated, because we think that everything is there here for my enjoyment. But what do they lead to? Dukkha yone evate. They lead to misery. Why? That is why an intelligent person will not want to focus on enjoying his senses, right? Yehi samsparsha jab hoga, dukkha yone evate. Adi antavanta kaunteya na tishu ramate buddha. An intelligent person will not want to relish these objects of sense gratification, knowing very well that they are temporary and they have a beginning and an end. Adi antavanta kaunteya na tishu ramate buddha. They will not relish in these temporary sources of material enjoyment. What will they want to do? They will want to enjoy transcendental bliss of going back home, back to Godhead, for which we will get the taste by continuing to do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. All of this, when we continue to do, irrespective of whether we have the taste for it or not, just like the person who's suffering from jaundice, he has no taste for the sugarcane juice. But yet, if he wants to get cured of jaundice, he has to continue to take those medicines. Similarly, we don't have any taste in chanting Hare Krishna. We don't have any taste in hearing Bhagavad Gita. We don't have any taste in hearing Bhagavatam, right? It is like a medicine. No one likes to take medicine, but we are supposed to take this medicine day in and day out. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, right? And Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study to even Bhagavatam, right? Before we proceed towards Bhagavatam, we need to understand the ABCs, ABCDs as given by Srila Prabhupada. So we understand all of this by the study of Bhagavad Gita, and slowly and steadily, everyday chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, study of Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, slowly but surely we will get taste for hearing Bhagavad Gita. We will get taste for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just like the jaundiced person is now able to relish the taste of the sugarcane juice after having taken it for so long, as much time as it is required for the cure of the jaundice. Similarly, as much time as it is required for us to get completely purified of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, right? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. To that time, until that time, we need to continue with our practice of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Right? Until we are able to completely surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we need to take this medicine. And beyond that, are we not going to take the medicine? No, we will not take this as a medicine, because it will become a way of life for us. Right? Getting up in Brahma Muhurta time is a medicine for us, because we are sleeping in the lap of Maya. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings, Jeev Jago, Jeeva Jago, Gaura Chanda Bole, Kotha Nidra, Maya, Jao Maya, Isha Chira Kole. We are sleeping very nicely, and we think we are enjoying by when we are sleeping in the lap of Maya. But what are we supposed to do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, take up this process of Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting, take up this process of Krishna consciousness, get up from the lap of Maya, and in this way enter into that freedom of there's a freedom. The actual freedom is to work in the mode of servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Until we think that I am the controller, I want to enjoy, then I am suffering from this disease of material existence. But this process of Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting will lead us to that place where we are going to enjoy eternal, complete bliss, being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the goal, right? When we start something, we should know what is the destination, where we are supposed to go, and what is the process. Right? This journey of say a year or so, or however long it takes for us for the study of this Bhagavad Gita, our goal is to attain Krishna Prema. Right? Krishna himself tells the goal in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mata smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. So Krishna is saying, from all the study of the Vedas, I am to be known. So at the end of the study of the Bhagavad Gita, we would have attained three important knowledge. What is that? Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan and Prayojana Gyan. What is Sambandha Gyan? Jivera Swarupa He Krishnera Nityadas. I am an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is my Sambandha, my relationship with the Lord. Second, Abhideya. So now I know I am the servant of the Lord. What am I supposed to do? That is the process of Abhideya, which is hearing about the Lord, chanting the glories of the Lord, remembering the Lord, offering obeisances to the Lord, offering worship to the Lord, singing glorification of the Lord, right from Shravanam to Atmanivedanam, Nava Angas of Bhakti. That is what we will be, Krishna will be telling us through the purports of Srila Prabhupada. How do we engage in this process of Abhideya? Right? We are all family men. Arjuna was not a sannyasi. Right? He was a married man and he was performing his duty in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But Krishna told him how being a grahastha, being a married man, performing one's duty, how one can go back home, back to Godhead. How can one include Krishna in one's daily life? That's what is the process of Abhideya. And finally, we are dependent on the Lord to give us this prayojana of Krishna Prema. Right? So it is not some one person who's having this jaundice may get cured, say in about a month's time. Someone else who's got this disease of jaundice may take 2 months to get cured. Depends on the severity of the disease. Right? We are all in different. We are all in a disease condition. That's why we are in this material world. But all of us have different levels of severity of how much we wanted to enjoy sense gratification. According to that, we've all got our different bodies. But the fantastic news is that if we continue this process, all of us can attain this point of going back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan Dham. And each of us have to practice this process until each of us arrive at the destination of Krishna Prema. Like Prabhupada mentions, a person who's hungry, right? If he has nice, sumptuous meal, he need not ask another person, am I satisfied? Is my stomach full? No. He need not ask anybody else about it, because he himself will feel energized. He himself will feel blissful. He will feel that, yeah, I am satisfied, right? So in this way, the study of Bhagavad Gita will be an individual journey for all of us. We all come together, will engage in the process of hearing Bhagavad Gita, reading the transcendental purports of Srila Prabhupada, and in this way, we all will have our own realizations. To the extent we surrender to the Lord, to the extent we are sincere, we are enthusiastic, we are determined to understand how we lead our life in a way that we can perfect our life in this lifetime. To that extent, Guru Gauranga will help us to understand how we can go back home, back to Godhead. And with that introduction, let us continue with the introduction that Srila Prabhupada has given in terms of understanding the Bhagavad Gita, why the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, and how we have to be recipients of this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita through the disciplic succession. So we are part of Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Guru Parampara. That is what is going to be explained by Prabhupada in the next few paragraphs. So let's study that. Okay, who will read? Karpagavali Mataji, go ahead. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manur ikshva kave bravet evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo viduhu sakale neham hata yogo nashtaha parantapa sa evayam maya tedhya yogaha proktaha puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. Yes, Kapavali Mataji, go ahead.
Thank you, Mother. Here the Lord informs Arjuna that this system of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, was first spoken to the sun god, and the sun gods explained it to Manu, and the Manu explained it to Ikshvaku, and in that way, by disciplic succession, one speaker after another, this yoga system has been coming down. But in the course of time, it has become lost. Consequently, the Lord has to speak it again, this time to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He tells Arjuna that he is relating the supreme secret to him because Arjuna is a puppet of this, is that Bhagavad Gita is a... Mataji, scroll up, no? Scroll up.
Yeah, can already scrolled up. Can you see?
Yes, Mother.
Okay. So,
he tells Arjuna that he tells Arjuna that he is relating this supreme secret to him because Arjuna is his devotee and his friend. The purpose of this is that Bhagavad Gita is a treatise which is especially meant for the devotee of the Lord. There are three classes of transcendentalists, namely the Jnani, the Yoga, and the Yogi, and the Bhakta, or the impersonalist, the meditator, and the devotee. Here the Lord tells clearly Arjuna that he is making him the first receiver of the new parambara, disciplic succession, because the old succession was broken. It was that Lord's wish, the Lord's wish, therefore, to establish another parambara, the same line of thought that was coming down from the sun god to others. And it was his wish that his teaching was distributed anew by Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to become the authority in understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So we see that Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjuna, especially because Arjuna was a devotee of the Lord, a direct student of Krishna, and his intimate friend. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna's. That is to say, he must be a
devotee.
He must be a devotee in direct relationship with the Lord. As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he also has a direct relationship with the Lord. That is a very elaborate subject matter, but briefly it can be stated that a devotee is in a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of 5 different ways. One may be a devotee in a passive state.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
So, like we said, right? Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here we said how a devotee, like a person, right, who starts the study of Bhagavad Gita, the first step is to understand one's sambandha with the Lord. Now, Prabhupada is going to tell us what can be our ultimate relationship with the Lord, various rasas that we can enjoy with the Lord. But it all starts, right? Why does Krishna tell this knowledge to Arjuna? Right? Rahasyam hi etad uttama. This is the greatest secret. Why has Krishna chosen Arjuna? Right? This is the nature of the material world, that everything will be annihilated. That's what we saw in the beginning of the session. Everything that is created will be annihilated. So this initially Krishna is said to have given this knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. Vivaswan gave it to Manu. Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. So in this way there was a reciprocal succession. But because of the nature of the material world, this knowledge seemed to have got lost. So Krishna is so merciful, right? Krishna appears again and again and again. Why does Krishna have to appear? He can be joyfully enjoying in Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Why did Srila Prabhupada go to the Western world at the age of 70? Right? He could have enjoyed in Vrindavan Dham. He had all the facilities to chant Hare Krishna. He was studying Bhagavatam. He was actually staying in Radha Damodara temple, which is a samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami, Bhajan Kutir of Rupa Goswami. So he could have happily enjoyed in Vrindavan Dham. So why does the Lord come down from Goloka Vrindavan to this material world? Why did Srila Prabhupada go to the Western world to preach Krishna consciousness? Why? Because they want all of us, the conditioned souls, to also get attracted to that Supreme Dham, to get understanding of that spiritual world for which we have no idea. We think we're enjoying in this material world, but what are we doing? Punah charvita charvananam. Every time we're getting frustrated, but we don't know any solution how to get out of it. That is why the Lord comes time and again, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In this way, Krishna keeps on appearing in every yuga. To get us attracted to that spiritual world by performing some wonderful leelas that will enchant us, that will attract us to that Supreme Dham. And Srila Prabhupada, who is the Senapati Bhakta, it is predicted that there would be a Senapati Bhakta who would preach the message of Lord Shri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in every town and village, right? Nagaradi Grama Sarvatra Hoibe Prachar Mora Nama. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said the names of Krishna will be taken in every town and village. Not just in India. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna himself, he preached only in India. He went to South India, and then he went to Jagannath Puri, then he went to Vrindavan, and all these places only he was preaching. But he left the preaching of the preaching to be done to the Mlechas, to the Yavanas, to the people who are actually living the life like an animal. to those people, to bring them to the level of human being, and then to elevate them to the highest level of bhakti. This opportunity or this power or empowerment was given to our founder Acharya of International Study for Krishna Consciousness, His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He was an epitome of mercy, right? That is why he left the comforts of Vrindavan Dham, where he was thoroughly enjoying in bliss, doing his sadhana, etc. That's why Prabhupada was saying, right? We are not selfish people who just want to perfect our life. We want to give Krishna to everyone else. In that mood, Srila Prabhupada took the Vrindavan Dham to all of the to the entire Western world, established 108 temples, created devotees who were willing to sacrifice their lives for the mission of Srila Prabhupada, which was the mission to spread Krishna consciousness. So in this way, when we study the transcendental purports by Srila Prabhupada, that is the mood that we also have to arrive at. Then we know that we are understanding Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? And Prabhupada also mentions about how as it is, why there are so many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita, what is the need for another one, right? And then Prabhupada is talking about how this writing is as it is. Why? Because there are no mental speculations, there are no individual opinions that have gone into this description of the transcendental verses spoken by Lord Sri Krishna. Now, Srila Prabhupada, right, initially he starts off by saying that only a devotee can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, when we endeavor to study the Bhagavad Gita with this submissive mood of trying to understand who Krishna is, who am I, what is my relationship with the Lord, Prabhupada is now going to tell us what are the 5 realizations or the relationships that we can develop with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is like, the goal. What are we going to attain at the end of it, right? If we are studying Bhagavad Gita sincerely. What are those? Who will read now? Mala Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. One may be a devotee in a passive state, or should I start from? Sorry, Mataji, should I start from Bhagavad? Okay, thank you. Okay, number one may be a devotee in a passive state. 2, one may be a devotee in an active state. 3, one may be a devotee as a friend. 4, one may be a devotee as a parent. 5, one may be a devotee as a conjugal lover. Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as a friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between the friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is transcendental friendship which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. But in the present status of our life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being out of the many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. That is called Swarupa. But by the process of devotional service, one can revive that Swarupa, and that stage is called Swarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee, and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship. How Arjuna accepted this? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So here, Prabhupada is talking about the 5 rasas that we can have at the end of our realizing our Swarupa Siddhi. Right? Here, Prabhupada is saying, what is the goal? That is to attain our Swarupa Siddhi, to understand what is my ultimate relationship with the Lord. Whether it is going to be in a passive state, that means Shanta Rasa, or it is going to be in an active state, right? Active rendering of service to the Lord, which is called Dasya Rasa, or it can be as a friend, Sakya Rasa, or it can be in the mood of a parent, that is Vatsalya Rasa, or it can be in the mood of a conjugal lover, which is Madhurya Rasa, right? But here Prabhupada is saying that all of these relationships, whether it's Shanta Rasa or Dasya Rasa or Sakya Rasa or Vatsalya Rasa or Madhurya Rasa, all of these are perfect relationships. And how do we arrive at what is our relationship with the Lord? What is our Swarupa Siddhi? By the perfection of our devotional service, right? When we perform devotional service, what are we doing now? We are actually doing devotional service, right? We are hearing about the Lord. We are speaking about the Lord. We are reading the purports given by Srila Prabhupada, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. All of this is devotional service. When we continue this process of devotional service, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. That means Krishna consciousness is there in our heart, but we have actually covered our Krishna consciousness with layers of anarthas, because of our desire to enjoy independently, because of our lust, our anger, our greed, our pride, our envy for people, for devotees, for people in general, and illusion, right? Thinking ourselves to be the controllers. Because of all this covering, our Krishna consciousness has become so dormant. It has got died down within the heart, that we no longer realize that I'm supposed to love God. But by this process of devotional service, we can perfect, and then our Swarupa Siddhi, whatever is our natural inclination to serve the Lord, that actually comes up and it becomes revealed to us. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya, it awakens from within the heart. That Prabhupada gives the example of the sun, when the sun rises, it means the sun was always there, but it was not visible to our eyes. So when the sun rises, the sun manifests in front of our eyes. Similarly, Krishna consciousness is always there in our heart, but currently it does not manifest. We don't perceive, we don't realize the presence of Krishna. However, by the process of devotional service, we will reawaken our dormant relationship with Krishna, which can be any of these 5 rasas, and all of these 5 rasas are perfections in themselves. Until we realize what is our perfection, what is our relationship, there is always this relationship of service that is there in all the 5 relationships. That is a constant, right? Savai pumsam paro dharma yata bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Right? We will feel bliss. Like we spoke about how a person, who's having food is automatically experiencing bliss of satisfaction, of energy, of his body getting energized. Similarly, Krishna says this process of devotional service is also susukam kartum avyayam. It is very joyfully performed, right? Because we are reviving what is our natural position. It is not artificially we are imposing something on ourselves. We are reviving what is actually our natural state. All right. So let's go ahead. Navakishori Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam.
Thank you Mataji. Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param
How
Dhamma.
Arjuna accepted from there? How Arjuna accepted this Bhagavad Gita should be noted.
Oh, sorry Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. How Arjuna accepted this Bhagavad Gita should be noted. His manner of acceptance is given in the 10th chapter, 10.12 to 14. Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavana Purushama. Mataji, you can sing. It's fine.
Okay. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayah Sarve Deva Rishir Naradas Tatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime Sarvam Etadritam Manye Yanmam Vadasi Keshava Nahi Te Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidur Devana Danavaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode. The pure is the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me, O Krishna. I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality." After hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So, Hare
Dandat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So when we accept a teacher, right, we can do all of our homework, whether we want to accept a particular teacher or not. But once we accept a teacher, we have to be convinced that this person is going to help us attain our goal, right? If we continuously doubt the teacher after taking knowledge from the teacher, then we will not even progress, right? Because every time we are thinking whether this person will actually help me, those will be unnecessary obstacles in the path of understanding the transcendental knowledge. So once we have taken up a guru, we've decided that I'm going to understand this truth of Bhagavad Gita from this person, right? We've accepted Srila Prabhupada is our eternal Siksha Guru. Here we are studying from Bhagavad Gita. Like Arjuna, what does he say? The great sages also say that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are also declaring the same to me. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I totally accept as truth whatever you are telling me. Such kind of surrender to the spiritual master is essential for us to understand the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Otherwise, we will be doubting the spiritual master. When we are doubting the person who is teaching us the Bhagavad Gita, then we will not be able to accept it wholeheartedly. That is another qualification that Krishna himself mentions of Arjuna. Why he chose Arjuna? Because Arjuna, you are my devotee. You are not envious of me. Right? When somebody is envious of somebody else, that person cannot openly, with an open mind and heart, listen to that particular person. So we should not be envious. Oh, why Krishna only should enjoy? Why cannot I enjoy? That was our mentality. Because of that, we are now in this material world. So what should be our mentality? Oh, Krishna, I don't know what to do. That's what Arjuna also said, right? I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Please let me know what am I supposed to do. So with that open heart, with a submissive mind, when we surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we will be able to understand the truth of Bhagavad Gita as the Lord wanted us to understand, right? So that is what it is. Okay, let's move forward. We'll just end at 12:50, and then we will take a feedback as to how we can continue the sessions from tomorrow. Accordingly, then we'll do that. All right. So who will read the last section? Nisha Mataji, go ahead. After hearing Bhagavad Gita.
After hearing Bhagavad Dandat Pranam Sabhi ko. After hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahma. Every living being is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Brahman. Param Dhama means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitram means that he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. Shashwatam, eternal, Divyam, transcendental, Adidevam, the original supreme personality of Godhead. Ajam, the unborn, the Vibhum, the greatest. Now one may think that because Krishna was the friend of Arjuna, Arjuna was. Please scroll, madam.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Sorry.
No problem. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, the truth is established, right? When we have to accept the knowledge from a spiritual master, we should accept that whatever this person is telling me is as per the bona fide Guru Parampara, right? We can do all of our experimentation until we find out whom we want to follow. But once we decide whom to follow, then we completely surrender. So that is the essence of this particular paragraph. Okay. So going forward, now Arjuna is going to tell Krishna that I'm going to accept whatever you are going to say as the ultimate truth. No, please enlighten me. And very interestingly, Krishna will not speak anything until the entire of the first chapter, even in the beginning of the second chapter, when Arjuna is saying, I will not fight the war because I will incur sinful reactions. Whom will I enjoy? Whom will I show off my kingdom? Because all of my relatives will be dying, and then the leaders of the family will die. Because of that, there will be Varna Shankara. All this very, very intelligent. Arjuna is speaking, right? When we read those verses, we think, oh, Arjuna is really knowledgeable, right? He's asking such wonderful questions. But if we see, Krishna is not at all speaking anything until Arjuna says, Sishyasteham sati mamtvam prapannam. I'm very confused. I've spoken all that I wanted to speak, but I'm confused now. I don't know what to do, right? In that way, when he surrendered to Lord Shri Krishna, then Krishna said, no. What is that? Prajna vadamsya bhashase gatasun agatasumsya nanu shochanti panditaha. Right? He tells Arjuna that Arjuna, you're speaking words of great learning. Right? You're speaking learned words, but you are a fool number one. Right? Because those who are learned, they don't, they really don't worry about, the material body or because all of this is temporary, right? You're speaking learned words, but you're a fool, number one. Krishna starts speaking only when Arjuna surrenders. Like that, until we surrender to a spiritual master and we inquire submissively after doing service, we will not be able to get the answers to our questions. Until then, we'll be speculating. I can do this, this will help me. I can do this, this will help me. But ultimately, all of this will not help us until we surrender to the spiritual master and understand from the spiritual master what is good for us, what are we supposed to do. So with this, we will end our today's session. So everyone can unmute themselves now. So today was our first session. We started off with the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. So we understood what is the mood of studying the Bhagavad Gita, what is the ultimate goal, and what are the three things that we will understand, which is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. What is our relationship with the Lord, that we will understand. We will understand what is the process of re-establishing ourselves in that relationship. And then finally, what is the goal that we will realize when we achieve the goal. So these are the three things that we studied. And how do we go about this process of hearing? We first of all choose a spiritual master who's coming in a bona fide disciplic succession, and then we surrender ourselves completely to such a spiritual master. And that is the way in which we will understand Bhagavad Gita. So this is the way that we will go ahead by studying the words of Srila Prabhupada and having a little bit of discussion on how we understand what we understand. And then the last 10 or 15 minutes, like today we are, now the time is 12:53, right? We generally will end by say 12:50. The last 10 minutes we will keep for if there are any questions and answers, and if there are any realizations, then devotees can share, and then we will do a quick 3 to 4 minutes of Harinam Sankirtan. So that will be the program schedule in short. So anyone wants to share your feedback, any improvisation, any changes that you propose about the timings, or whether, like, I can see so many hands up. If you're for reading, you may lower your hand. Otherwise, if you want to give some suggestions of how we can make this very interesting, so that we all continue this journey until we complete all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, until we understand all the instructions given by Lord Sri Krishna. So in this way we'll continue.
दंडवत
So
प्रणाम
anyone wants to
माता जी,
take...
दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी, आपने बहुत अच्छा समझाया और ये बात समझ में आई कि भगवान से अपने को ओरिजिनली प्रेम है, लेकिन अपन ने क्या भूल चुके हैं और बहुत सारी लेयर्स अपने ऊपर चढ़ चुकी है और अपन अब उनके शरणागत हो चुके हैं, प्रभुपाद जी के और आपके सबके, तो उनकी भी अपने ऊपर कृपा है, तो अपने को तो रास्ता मिल ही जाएगा, मतलब रास्ता मिल गया है लेकिन चलना बस आप अच्छे से हाथ पकड़ के चला रहे हो, इसलिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. You just got
Hari
the
Bol
essence.
Mataji,
Hari Bol.
Dandavat Pranam for
Any
all
other
efforts you take.
realizations or queries?
Hari Bol for all efforts you take to take us in Krishna consciousness. Dandavat Pranams to you and Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Thank you so much, devotees. So we'll utilize this time in case of, you want any change in the way that we are going to do this, because this will be, at least I foresee this to be at least, an 8 to 12 months we will take, depending on how much we're able to cover. But there is no hurry. We will go verse by verse. We will read every translation and purport. Please unmute. Everyone can unmute themselves. Nagavani Mataji, everyone can unmute themselves. And you all can give your suggestions. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else wants to share anything? Nagavani Mataji, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Ma'am Kishori Mataji. Yes.
Yes, Mataji, did you read a small book also before Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, we started at 11:30. We studied the path of perfection till about 12 o'clock. 12 we started Bhagavad Gita. That's what we will do.
Okay, thank you,
So depending on the convenience of the devotees, because I see some of the devotees are working and they wanted to join during the lunch time. So that's why we start Bhagavad Gita at 12. So 12 to 12:40, 12:45 we'll do Bhagavad Gita. 11:30 to 12 we will do the path of perfection, which we will complete the next 2-3 days. After we'll take up the next book. And then your timing is good. Okay, Rohini Mataji, thank you. So anyone else wants to share anything? Is this okay? The way we will proceed by studying introduction, then we'll go on to the verses, and then we will do reading of all the, from here it is not happening. Okay, Nagavani Mataji, you need to check why you're not able to unmute.
Excellent section, Mataji. Excellent section,
Yes,
Mataji. Excellent section. Excellent session, Mataji. We can clearly have firm ideas, Mataji, and we can understand very, very clearly, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay. So Hare Krishna. So thank you all for the encouraging feedback. So we'll proceed in this way and page by page become a sage. That's what they say. So we will try to become a perfect bhakti yogi. That is our desire, so that we perform this devotional service with no other ulterior motive, with no other motive of material sense gratification, no dharma, artha, kama, moksha. We don't want to get merged with the Lord. We don't want to enjoy material sense gratification. We don't want wealth. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. What is our objective? Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktir ahitukitvahi. Ultimately, we want to get this bhava of bhakti or devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. With this, let's conclude today's session by doing Harinam Sankirtan. So we meet you all tomorrow morning for the Brahma Muhurta chanting session. Whoever is joining us, please do join us at 5 a.m. And then we meet at 11:30 a.m. for continuing our path of perfection. And then we meet at 12 o'clock to continue our introductory session of reading from the introduction of Srila Prabhupada's book, the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Jaya Jaya Sudarshan Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Gurudev Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय ऑल ग्लोरी टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा all glories to the assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा all glory to the assembled devotees हरे कृष्णा all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much. So we'll meet you all tomorrow morning as we continue our Brahma Muhurta chanting, study of Path of Perfection, and then finally at 12 o'clock we'll continue Bhagavad Gita as it is. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Dandavat pranams.